Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. On today's episode, we'll be talking about men's and women's basketball, and Franklin Christ will have another wolf tale for us. But here to talk with me about women's basketball first, the new women's basketball assistant, Darryce Moore. Thanks for joining me.
Good to be here.
All right, well, let's just start off for those viewers that don't know a whole lot about you. Just tell us about yourself, your high school playing background as well as college.
I went to Boardman High School. It's a big high school in Youngstown, Ohio, and I played there for 4 years. Started varsity all 4 years.
Nice.
And I went on from there to Ohio State, where I played for 4 years as well. And I then got a coaching job out of college in May 2014 in Tennessee, a liberal arts college called Martin Methodist College. And that was in Pulaski, Tennessee. And then I came here. This is my second coaching job to IU East.
Well, you mentioned Ohio State, and I remember a couple of years back, Samantha House, big player there at Ohio State. Were you there when she was playing?
Mm-hmm. She was a junior when I came, so I played with her for 2 years. Right. And she is a dynamic player.
So just tell us a little bit about some of the accomplishments you had there as a player at Ohio State.
I think around junior and senior years when everything kicked in, I realized what my role was on the team, and I really didn't get any awards, but I think, especially from the coaches' point of view, they've told me that I was a very valuable person to the team.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, now you're here as part of the coaching staff here at IU East. The team started off 1-2. Just tell us about how the season's been going so far.
It's going.
It's going.
We're a young team, but we're really smart, and I'm really excited to see what the rest of the season holds. We still have a lot of season left. These first couple games have been just a learning experience for us coaching staffs and as a team. We're just having a little trouble with putting the first half and second half together, but I feel like it's going to come together soon.
So what are some of the things the team needs to work on to be able to put the two halves together?
We just need to work as a team, and that's our big thing right now, is just really stressing we need to do this as a team.
All right. Well, let's go take a look at some of the games. The first one was the lone win of the season so far against Wilberforce University here at home for homecoming. 70-63 win. Tell us a little bit about that game.
That was our our first test. Wilberforce is a team kind of similar to us, where they play kind of a freestyle, but so that was kind of something we had to adjust to. And I think we did pretty well. It was our first game, so we had to kind of get the jitters out. But I think the second time around we'll be better prepared and know what we have to do to get a win there. All
right, well, we'll take a look at that game here in a few minutes. The second game of the season was against first-ranked Campbellsville University. It was a 99-62 loss. Tell us a little bit about what happened there.
Like I said earlier about putting, 2 games together, we did really good in the first half, and the second half I think we started, kind of thinking too much maybe about really focusing on what we focused more on in the first half, if that makes sense. But again, just another learning experience for us, same as St. Francis. Campbellville is just a good team with sets, and we're a pretty good team too. We just have to, like I said, put it all together. So.
Well, you mentioned St. Francis. They're ranked 20th right now. It was an 88-65 loss there. I remember seeing the headline of the recap article. It said that the team did a lot of the right things but still came up short. Tell us about that game.
We do a lot of the right things, but we don't do a lot of the little things all the time. There are some plays where we could have hustled on, some plays we could have, rebounded more, and some plays where we could have, played defense harder. It's just we do everything right, but we just have to do the little things.
All right. So what are some of the little things that you guys continue to work on in practice?
Just getting back in transition, help side, just helping out your other teammate. And boxing out. We really do stress boxing out. Limiting turnovers is a big thing. Just playing hard. If you mess up hard at least, Screw up hard.
Well, with playing 3 top 20 teams at the very beginning of the season, really within the first couple of weeks, how do you think that will help the team along later on in the season?
We're just going to be, we're not going to be surprised. We're going to be ready to, face a team with sets, face a team with who has depth, face a team who, doesn't have a set play, maybe just runs emotion all the time. We're just going to be ready for these teams instead of, playing all these cookie cutter teams to start out the season. I feel like we're just going to be really ready for that.
All right. Well, so far this season, who are some of the players that have stood out to you?
On our team?
Yeah.
Bailey Dryman, she's definitely our hard worker, our hustle player. Tia King, she is that player when we need that spark in the beginning of the game. She'll hit those big shots for us. Kristen, she's our defender. She's really good. She's kind of like a silent motivator, kind of. It's like she's not really vocal, but with her actions, she kind of gets the team pumped. Like last game took, I think, 2 charges in a row and, really just got the team together and really involved. Kerrigan, hard worker, she just never stops. So when she starts, she's kind of the example that we need our post players to come in after. I'm really anxious to see how Sarah Cook is going to really impact our program. She knows she has a really important role, as well as Libby Springmeyer, Adriana Cook, Deja Boyd, Brooke Packer. They're all, all the players have something that they bring to the table. So they all are very important to this team.
All right, well, let's take a look at the schedule. The next game will be at Wilberforce this time, going to take on the Bulldogs on their own floor. Tell us what you expect to see there.
I expect to see much of the same offense that they ran. We'll be ready for that. But they did have 2 players injured in that first game, so it'll be interesting to see how those 2 come back and fit, and how we're going to come back from that. Because we scouted them, we know what they're going to do, but we just have to do it.
All right. The next home game for IU East will be December 2nd. It's actually going to be played at Earlham College against Holy Cross. What do you expect them to be like?
Holy Cross, we expect them to be aggressive and just ready to play. Every team that we've encountered is just, as soon as the tip, they're ready to play. So we just have to be ready for that.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add about the team today?
I would like to add an important person, actually the most important person on our team, is Mackenzie Campbell. She tore ACL over the summer, but she's still very involved, really trying to motivate the girls, and she is becoming that voice that some players don't like to listen to the coaches, some players don't like to listen to each other, but with Mac on the sidelines seeing everything, she can really let them know what's going on. They can see it from a familiar, or they can hear it from a familiar voice, and she's really something special to the team.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me here.
All right, there you have it from the women's basketball assistant coach, Darryce Moore, talking about how the team is doing this season and a look ahead at the schedule. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports right after this.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
Welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. It's time to talk about men's basketball now. And joining me to do so, assistant coach Tyler Rigby. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, just start off by telling us a little bit about how the seasons go.
All right. Madonna was the first game. It's always good to get that first one under your belt. You get new guys playing, guys you've never really coached before, which is a good thing. You get to see how everybody's how everybody's going to mesh this year. You got a bunch of older guys. We got 7 seniors, so their roles are going to change a little bit this year, and it's good to see them in action, working on those roles that they really haven't ever worked on before. So it's a good first game. I thought we played pretty well. Did the small things well. This is what we've been talking about leading up to the first game. Just executing those small details and getting better at those every single day. So that first one in Madonna was a good one to start out with.
You mentioned that you get a chance to see how the team's going to mesh. Does it seem like they're meshing okay so far?
Yeah. I think leading up to the first game, we spend a lot of time with each other, practice. We got weights, we got individuals. I mean, there's a lot of time spent with everybody on the team, and that's a good teaching point for us to sort of see what they're doing, and see how they're all working together to complete a goal.
All right. Well, you did mention Madonna University, the first win of the season. Here at home, a 99-90 win for homecoming. Tell us about that game.
Yeah, it went well. We executed what we were trying to execute, and again, the young guys got a taste of some in-game action against somebody else, and that's always a good thing to see. I thought they reacted well. A lot of guys got some minutes, which was a good thing, and played some good minutes when they got in. And I think people realize, they start to see as the game goes on where they're going to fit in and how they can produce when they get in, and that was a good thing to see from the younger guys.
From there, you went to the Indiana Wesleyan Caleb Dimmick Memorial Classic, the first matchup there against Great Lakes Christian College, a 105-44 win. Tell us about that game.
I mean, going into those games, no disrespect to Great Lakes Christian, they just don't have a lot of talent. They're actually really well coached. They get better every year, but the talent level just isn't high. So we talk a lot about ourselves and doing what we need to do as a team. It's not so much about who we're playing, and that's going to be the theme going forward the whole season. It's not really about who we're playing. It's about how do we execute what we're trying to execute. How do we do those small things, and how do we get better every time we step on the floor. All
right, the next matchup of that tournament, 78-74 loss in overtime against 7th-ranked Union College. Tell us about how that game went.
Started out, I don't know to have a reason for it. We started out a little sluggish. We weren't real focused on what we needed to be doing. I'd say the first 10 minutes or so, we let them get into a bit of a rhythm. Right. They weren't a great shooting team, but we weren't locked in, and they got into a rhythm, and they shot it better than what they'd had previously in their games before. So the first 10 minutes was a big factor in the game. Right. The rest of the game, we played them pretty well. We just couldn't pull it out at the end. But if that first 10 minutes we'd been focused, I feel like it would have been a completely different game. But we did play well defensively. We went to a 2-3 for a lot of the game, knowing that they couldn't shoot it real well, and right. I think it kind of confused them. We don't play a whole lot of it. They haven't seen us play a whole lot of it, but it's something that I think we'll be really good at as the season progresses.
All right, then finally back at home once again, a 78-67 win against St. Catherine. How did that game go?
A lot of talent. They got a lot of talent. They're NAI Division I, so right. A lot of their guys have scholarships. I mean, they get more than we do, so they're always talented, pretty well coached. Put a lot of pressure on you with the dribble, and we stressed that a lot leading up to that game. Is we have to guard the ball, because if you can't guard the ball against them, they're gonna do a lot of different things to hurt you. And right. For the most part, I thought we did a pretty good job of guarding the ball, and when we didn't, our help side was in the right spot. Right. We made them make tough shots, make and take tough shots, which is what we wanted to do going into the game. If they're making the tough ones, then there's not really anything we can do about those. Right. As long as we're getting a hand up and making them tough on them, we'll be fine. And we did that, and that's why we came out with the win in that game.
All right. This past weekend, you played up at the Bethel College Gates Auto Classic. 2 losses up there. The first one against Goshen College, 76-67. Tell us about that game.
It was kind of the precursor to the whole weekend. We really weren't focused. We didn't have a lot of energy. I don't really know what it was, to be honest with you. We didn't look like ourselves in the first few games. We didn't look anything like that. And we told them, hey, I mean, you're gonna have those days. Right. But it wasn't a good one for us. And offensively, we struggled a lot. Against Union, it kind of got started there. But we struggled even more against Goshen, and we weren't moving, weren't getting good shots. Our percentages went down, and people were getting frustrated. And again, it's a good learning experience for us. The whole weekend was a good learning experience for us, but Goshen kind of tipped that weekend off with a bad experience that we could learn from.
All right, and how about the Bethel College game?
More of the same, maybe even worse. I mean, it's hard to turn it around in a day, especially when you only have so many hours to prepare for somebody. You're not going to change the whole mindset of the team in a matter of hours. But it kind of snowball effect, and it got even worse against Bethel, who's a much better team than Goshen. And I mean, again, it's a learning experience, something that we can take and look back on as the season progresses and think, hey, we can't do this again, or hey, we did this against Bethel and it helped. Because in the second half we didn't play bad. The first half we just got down so much that we couldn't really come back and make a run. So again, good learning experience. I hope they learn something from it, and something that we can look back on as the season progresses.
Out of the 3 losses so far this season, 2 of them have been to top 25 teams. How can you take these losses, learn from it, translate it into something better for the end of the season?
Right. I mean, making the schedule, we knew this schedule is tough. We got a lot of top 25 teams, a lot of top 15 teams. So we knew going in the record may not be the greatest, but we're going to get some good experience playing against high level competition. So you take those experiences, you talk about them, you make sure you spend time and they understand why we're doing this and what happened and how we fix it. That's how you make those experiences a good experience, and you learn from them. So a lot of high-level competition that we're going to have to play if we want to make it to nationals, or if we want to make it to the next level. So we got to learn how to win those games, and those experiences are going to help. All
right, 4 road games coming up before returning home on December 8th to take on West Virginia. What do you expect the team to be like on these 4 road games?
I always enjoyed road games as a player and even as a coach. You get to go into a so-called hostile environment and see what you're made of. And you get to really see how the team reacts to each other when they're the only ones in the gym that are with each other. I mean, everybody else is against you. So it really takes a lot for each other to back each other up. And it's a good thing to see. And I think with 4 in a row, hopefully you see from the first to the last game, last road game, that we're getting better and we're coming together a little more as a team.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add today about the season so far?
No, not so far. Been a lot of learning going on. A lot of learning for the coaches and the players. So I'm enjoying it so far.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Best of luck all these next 4 road games.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you have it from men's basketball assistant coach Tyler Rigby talking about how the team has done so far this season and what he expects out of the team yet to come. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they had already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
Right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. As we continue today's episode over our basketball teams, Franklin Christ had to sit down to talk with IU East basketball freshman Aaron Thomas to talk about his life on and off the basketball court.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Wolf Tales. I'm your host, Franklin Christ, and today with me in the studio is freshman men's basketball player Aaron Thomas. Aaron, thanks for joining me today.
It's nice to be here.
Firstly, Aaron, many times, freshmen coming in as yourself, very difficult, to kind of get your feet wet, jump right in, and, play in a system like you have. But you've come in, you've averaged 11 rebounds in your first 3 games. What do you feel like's allowed you to come in and make such a big impact for IU East?
My role on the team is just, come out, get rebounds, play solid defense, and I think I've done that very well. But what made me think I could, come out and do this was the team gave me a lot of confidence. And Houston Clark, who's a teammate of mine, he was a leading rebounder, and he's a great rebounder. he gave me some tips, you know, how to rebound at the next level, and I think I'm doing that as best as I can right now.
Sure. I know Huey, you know, he led us in rebounds last year. I think was the conference's top rebounder this past season. So to have you come in and help with that's been huge for us in these first 3 games. Obviously, you know, a big guy, 6'7". You've played a lot of sports in high school. You know, you played football. What made you or what persuaded you to play football or basketball? I'm sorry, as opposed to football coming to college?
Well, I thought it'd be the best option because, you know, at the next level, it gets a little more brutal.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
Being 6'7" and all, you know, they might target my knees, and
yeah.
you know, I'd like to have those.
Yeah, that's definitely something you need down the stretch. Went to Northrop High School, went to school with Jacoby, played with him in high school as well. Did that have any sort of draw for you too, coming here to IU East?
Definitely. Jacoby and I think we're really good friends, and he was telling me about IUE, and it's a great school, and I really enjoy it since I've been here. And it was kind of him pulling towards me and saying, you know, he basically said, you know, it's a good school. He didn't make me come, and, you know, it was my own choice, but he definitely made it an easier choice.
Sure. So if Jacoby, in a world where Jacoby's not here at IU East, do you still see yourself here at IU East?
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, you know, it's been like another family.
Good.
Everything's pretty good here. So.
Sure. Now I know your cousin. He's on my team, John Schaefer. You know, he's your living mate at Chester Heights. How much easier has it been having him around as well to, you know, get adapted to the college lifestyle and just kind of get settled in?
Me and John, we've had a really good relationship since like elementary school. I've known the kid basically my whole life.
Sure.
And so, you know, coming here on this journey together, it's been great.
Sure.
So he's made it a lot easier.
Now, John being the golfer that he is, has he rubbed off on you and helped you out with your golf skills?
I suck at golf. I'm pretty bad.
Have you tried it?
I went to the golfing range once.
Yeah.
And I could barely get the ball off the tee. So.
Sounds like John's not doing a good job teaching you then.
I only went the once.
You can blame it on him.
I probably wouldn't go again.
Getting back to basketball a little bit, you know, what goals did you have for yourself coming into the season, being a true freshman?
I was just hoping, you know, get a couple minutes a game and just do whatever I can to make the team better. You know, if that was practice or in the game, just grabbing, you know, how many rebounds I could get that game, or, you know, getting putbacks, you know,
Sure.
playing good defense, you know, just whatever I could do to help the team out.
The level of play that you've been at so far this season and the impact that you've made, do you feel like, has that surprised you at all, or is that something that you sort of expected? Or
Definitely surprising. I didn't expect myself to come out and play at a high level as I have been. And I just, like I told you, I just came out, you know, just trying to make a difference for the team, make everybody better, you know, make myself better. I wasn't expecting this. So
Sure.
I'm glad it happened.
Sure. Now, I know basketball can be, you know, pretty time-consuming. I know with myself, you know, playing golf, going to school, doing, you know, the stuff that I do within the school, very time-consuming. How do you find time to, you know, just kind of kick back, relax sometimes?
You know, I don't do much outside of basketball in school. I like to watch Netflix and Hulu and all that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not an interesting guy.
Well, you know, you've got the guys on your team, you know, that have, you know, that have allowed, you know, this to be a family, like you mentioned. How do you feel like this IU East has compared to some of the other schools that you've visited when looking at going to college?
It just seems like everybody's all in,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, everyone like knows each other, and everyone's really friendly, and it's just a great environment to be around, and I really enjoy it.
Sure. Well, we can always use another face like yours, Aaron, here at IU East. Well, Aaron, thank you for joining me today, and for those of you at home, thanks for viewing, and we'll see you next time.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. That sound you just heard means that it is time for Wolf Center. Wolf Center is where we take a look back at last week's IU East results and ahead to next week's schedule. You can download the Wolf House sound you just heard for free by downloading the free IU East Athletics app at the iTunes App Store or at Google Play. Now taking a look back at last week's IU East results, on November 9th, the women's basketball team fell to number 1 Campbellsville 99-62. Kristen Miller had 12 points and 4 assists for the Red Wolves. On November 10th, the men's basketball team beat St. Catherine 78-67. Houston Clark had 12 points and 14 rebounds. Then on November 13th, the men's basketball team fell to Goshen 76-67. Jacoby Claypool had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals for IU East. On November 13th, the volleyball team played in the KIAC tournament quarterfinal and defeated Cincinnati Christian 3-0. Missy Bedell had 9 kills along with a .421 hitting average. Then on November 14th, the volleyball team played in the KIAC tournament semifinal, falling to Point Park 3-2. Mallory Livingston had 20 kills and 8 digs. Also on November 14th, the men's basketball team fell to 22nd-ranked Bethel 93-56. Lucas Huffman had 16 points and 5 rebounds. On November 14th, the women's basketball team fell to 20th-ranked St. Francis University 88-65. Deja Boyd had 10 points and 5 rebounds for the Red Wolves. Now taking a look ahead at the schedule, on November 24th, the men's basketball team will be at Indiana Tech. This game will start at 7 p.m. in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Coverage at IUERedwolves.com. On November 24th, the women's basketball team will be playing at Wilberforce. Tip-off at 7 p.m. and it will be live at IUERedwolves.com. Also on December 1st, the men's basketball team will be at number 3 Davenport. Tip-off at 6 p.m. in Wilberforce, Indiana. Coverage at IUERedwolves.com. And then on December 2nd, women's basketball will be at home taking on Holy Cross at Earlham College. Tip-off at 7 p.m. That game also live at IUERedwolves.com. That concludes this week's episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.